So let's come to the Christianization of England. When the Anglo-Saxons came back in the 5th century, remember, they were pagans. And the question is, of course, when and how did they get Christianized? As always, let's start with the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle here. The year given is 565, and here we read the following thing. Her Columba masse preas of Scotum cum imbretas to lerne peortas and in he from Irlande Münster urte, which is very easy to translate. In this year, Columba, a Scottish priest, Irish, in those days we did not differentiate between Scottish and Irish, he was from Ireland. So an Irish priest really came to the Brits to teach the Picts, and on the island of Iona he built, worked a monastery. So the Christianization starts on the north of England. An Irish priest by the name of Columba comes to Christianize the indigenous people, who in those days were predominantly Picts. Okay. The important thing is he is not Roman Catholic. He is part of an Irish free church, which was founded by St. Patrick a couple of hundred years earlier. Ireland is not Roman Catholic yet, so it's a sort of free church. All right, how does the story go on? 30 years later, we have the following entry. 595. Herr Gregorius Papa sendet Britune or Britane Augustinum mit vel manicum municum the goddess word Engna Theoda God Spelledon. Okay. In this year, Pope Gregory, Roman Catholic, sent Augustine to Britain, not the Augustine of the Confessions, another one, with very many monks to preach God's word to the English people. So what we get is that 30 years after Columba arrived in the north of the British Isle, from the south, the Roman Catholic Church comes doing the same thing, Christianizing the people. I just want to have a footnote because they say God Spelledon, that Augustinus did that. God Spelledon means a good message, to give a good message. God means good. It's a loan translation from the Latin or the Greek, euangelion, which means good message. Please, it doesn't have anything to do with God's message. Gospel today, gospel, good message, not God's message. All right. A lot of people get that wrong. Okay. Beda, he has to say something about that too, of course. He writes a church history in 731. The History Ecclesiastica Gentis Anglorum. And the question is, how did he get interested in Britain in the first place? How did he know that the island existed at all in the North Atlantic? And the thing is, the story goes, which Beda tells us, that Gregory went to the slave market and found there two boys of very fair complexion and blonde hair who looked very angelic to him, and he inquired who they were and was told they were Angles. And let's just have the last sentence here. He therefore again asked, what was the name of that nation? And was answered, they were called Angles. Right, said he, for they have angelic face. And it is meet that such should be co-heirs with the angels in heaven. And you see, there is the pun, of course, Angles and angels. And Pope Gregory said, those beautiful two boys, that they persist in darkness, of course, has to be amended. And he therefore decides to send Augustine and others to set this right. This is a very romanticized painting here with Gregory, not yet Pope, he's going to become Pope. Encountering those Anglo-Saxon kids for the first time in the slave market. Just a footnote, slavery never questioned. War, yes. Slavery, I mean, big thing. You may ask yourselves, why does the Pope condone slavery? It's not even questioned. Yeah, it's not even questioned. Just a footnote. Okay, so this is the story. And then he sent Augustine to Britain. And so how did the Christianization proceed? And just forget about Columba for the time being. Just think of Augustine, because he was a very smart man, and the Christianization of England by Augustine went rather smoothly. Nothing compared to Charlemagne, for example, who killed the Saxons in droves, of course, when he Christianized them. So how did he do that, and why did it proceed? Why did he proceed so careful? The kings and the high aristocracy were Christianized first. I mean, this is the first thing, okay? He didn't start from the bottom, as in a way Columba did, but from top down. And it was easy for him because the aristocracy and the royalty, I mean, they were already familiar with the Christian faith. Many of them were, because they were married to Christian women they had imported from the continent. So usually Franconian or something like that. This one thing. So it was easy. It's of course a lot easier to Christianize somebody who already has a Christian wife. All right. And another smart thing he did not tear down pagan places of worship, but just, in a way, consecrated them. Putting a cross on a temple and telling them, I mean, go there. There's just one God who doesn't even have a name. All right, but nothing else. It's got to change apart from that. Okay, so this is smart. I mean, not just tearing things down, but using them and not force it on the people like that. A very smart thing is, I mean, the words he used for the Christian concepts. I mean, it's clear, if you adopt a new belief system, a new religion, there are new concepts, and you have to have words for these concepts. And usually what you do is you loan words, usually from Latin and Greek, usually Latin, in order to denote those new concepts which you are introducing. But he used pagan words, or, well, Anglo-Saxon native words, and just refined them. Okay, so take this, for example. Witek is usually the wise one of a tribe, and he used it for profit. Okay, or fullian, which means just to fill, and you fill somebody with water or something. Baptize. Here we go. Baptize. You don't have to learn this terrible word. Or what I like, drichten. Drichten is the warrior king of an Anglo-Saxon tribe. I mean, Old High German, Druchtin, sounds even more martial, Druchtin, Drichten. Uses that for God. Wuldorfader, glory father, again, a warrior king, an Anglo-Saxon warrior king. Wuldorfader, the glory father, God. Makes perfect sense. Or another one, Midanyard, Middle Earth, which becomes the world. Pagan concept. Middle Earth, above us the gods, below us the giants. We live in Middle Earth. He used that just for the world. So that was smart. Now, if you think that we don't have any pagan words or pagan concepts still in our modern language, I mean, look at the weekdays. They're still very pagan. Monday, it's the moon god, moon day. Learn the Luna in French, there you see it. Tuesday, Tiv, it's the god of war. Mardi in French is Mars, the Latin, Mars, god of war. Wednesday, Woden's day, which would be Mercury in French. Or Thursday, Thor, Thor, the thunder god. And in French you have Jove, Jupiter even. Friday, the only woman, in both of them, the only woman. Friday, Freya, Freya, goddess of love, which is equivalent to Venus, of course, in French. Vendredi, therefore. And Saturday and Samedi, somehow Samedi too, referring back to Saturn, a Roman god. Okay, and then Sunday is, of course, the sun god, as French Dominicus. All right, the day of the Lord. But there you see, I mean, I pick French because French preserves the Latin gods and English, the Germanic gods. All right, as does German, except for Mittwoch, which is a bit boring. Mittwoch, middle of the week, Wednesday, much nicer. Woden. Okay, all right. This is that. Let's go on. So we said two churches, from the north and from the south. So from the south, the Catholic Church; from the north, the Irish Free Church. So why did England become Roman Catholic after all? Well, that's a good question. And this comes all down to the Synod of Whitby in 664. Representatives of the Irish Church and the Roman Catholic Church met there, and then they decided, funny enough, that Easter is going to be calculated according to the Catholic way, in the Catholic way. This is the so-called Comptus, and the highest feast of the Christians now is calculated after Catholic habit. And day of Easter is usually, I mean, you take equinox, usually the 21st of March, and then the next full moon, and after that the next Sunday. And this is the Catholic way of doing it, and not the Irish way, by the way. And once that was settled, England became Catholic. All of it. And the Irish withdrew and left the field to Rome. That is that. And once again, with the date of Easter, therefore Easter is so changeable. The day. Just think about that. When the 21st of March, when the 22nd is a full moon, and the 23rd is already a Sunday, so you can have some like Easter on the 23rd of March. Okay, but it can stretch something like to the middle of April until that happens. Okay, so the Synod of Whitby. One more thing. This is that. You see from the north, Columba. From the south, St. Augustine. They met Whitby. This is the Synod, okay, and there they decide that. Let me just, one more concept I would like to mention here. This is Euhemerism. The question is, what do you do with your old gods when they force a new belief system on you? I mean, say there's only one God and forget about yours, and you don't want to forget about them. You like them. You live with them. And Euhemerism is exactly what you do. This means that you take pagan gods and translate them into human beings, usually saints, heroes, ancestors, or something like this. And this is something you encounter also in Anglo-Saxon poetry, that they will say something like that Woden is my great ancestor, grandfather, something like this. So Woden translated, for example, into an ancestor. Footnote on the Arthurian heroes. We know today, we are pretty sure that most of the Arthurian heroes of the Knights of the Table Round derive from Celtic gods. And this is Euhemerism. This is something which happens in the transition from a pagan way of looking at things to a Christian. Here, for example, take Lancelot. Can't quite read that, but it's Lancelot. Who goes down? Who is most of all Clan Cleog. Clan Cleog, Welsh Celtic god, by the way, of Clan Cleog, god of the underworld, and Lancelot retains the properties of an underworld god. He's always black. He's always in bad mood. He never laughs. He does not speak much, and so on. So even that, he retains the properties of a Celtic underworld god, the hero does, and was originally is a Euhemerized god. Okay, Let's take it from here.